Oi boys, what is going on? Today, I'm going to be doing another YouTube video, and today I'm going to be talking about some CDs, some recent CDs that I've bought from a shop in Broadmead, Bristol. It's sort of my local area, kind of. It's like one of the closer HMVs to me, because there's not too many like right where I live. Not going to disclose where I live, but yeah. So today I'm going to be talking about some CDs and stuff. These are all ones I've recently kind of got in the last half year kind of thing. I didn't want to include my Mccartney 3 that I got in December because I have done a video for that. I'm sorry, by the way, I'm also sorry that I haven't been uploading recently, and none of my videos are already that great, I don't think. But yeah, and one of these is technically an album I've already got. I've already got the Beatles 1. I feel like this one's in a nicer case. Yeah, I'm going to get into it now. So, first of all, I'm going to start off with some of the first two I got recently. I'm going to go kind of in order, kind of, from what I remember. So, like, months ago, my grandparents basically got me, lent me, I think they lent me them. I don't know if they got me them to keep or what, but, I still got them now. And, yeah, so my grandparents, they got me 2 CDs, like lent me to. One I've already got and I've already listened to. It's just that it's got a nice case, and I like looking at this case. This has got a more traditional CD case. Most of the CDs I listen to anyway are like ones from like my grandparents or my parents or some other of my relatives that own CDs, and they just give them to me. So I mostly just listen to the music on Spotify, really. This CD here is the first copy I got a couple of years ago of the Beatles' #1 hits album, which I'm not going to be talking about that one today. But then my grandparents got me, well, not got me, but like lent me this one, the Beatles, it's like the one in the more traditional CD looking case kind of thing. I actually really like this case, but I do like the other case. I don't know which one I prefer, but I like how this has got like the promotional thing not on the plastic wrap, because with me, I don't get how people can keep plastic wrap on them. I would love to keep plastic wrap on them, because then you don't have to dump it away and sort out the environment and all that, because I hate disposing plastic waste. I do like the plastic on there, and I think you can use plastic waste on CDs. It's just that it's a nightmare to keep them on. I don't know how people manage to like make the CDs usable and keep the plastic wrap on there, because personally I can't do that. And that is kind of bad sometimes, because some of the promotional stickers that I like to keep are kind of on there. But on here you've got like the promotional CD on single, you've got the like promotional sticker on here this time, as opposed to being on like the plastic wrap, which I think is cool. Actually, I don't know if it was originally on the plastic wrap, because I'm pretty sure this might have been an original release from 2000 when this album originally came out. Basically, this is my favourite Beatles album. I don't like to call this my favourite Beatles album because it's a compilation, and I don't like to include compilations on like my favourite albums. I like to include like studio albums, or what ones that are generally perceived in like the discography of studio albums. So like, I will technically include Magical Mystery Tour if I do a Beatles albums ranked video in the future, but yeah. I'm planning on doing a Beatles albums ranked in the future. Hopefully, I will be doing a Beatles albums ranked, and I will be including Magical Mystery Tour. I would only be doing the UK released albums. I might do the American ones, but I personally haven't listened to the American ones, and I don't know what they sound like as albums and that, because none of them are really on Spotify, the US ones, and I personally think the UK releases of all the Beatles ones are better than like the North American releases and that. I don't know, I feel like they work better from what I've seen of like the track listing and that. I feel like the songs flow and work better in the UK versions. I don't know. I would be including Magical Mystery on that album, even though technically it's kind of an EP in the UK release, but an American release, I think it was released as a full album. I might be vice versa, I don't know which way around, but I would include that as an album anyway. But anyway, this is Beatles number 1 albums. Love this. You got some great songs like Love Me Do, From Me to You, She Loves You, Wanna Hold Your Hand, Can't Buy Me Love, I Feel Fine, A Hard Day's Night, Ticket to Ride, Help, Day Tripper, We Can Work It Out. It's a pretty sick album. And then next is I've got a live album of Paul McCartney, which is again another one from my grandparents, and yeah, Driven Into the Live, fantastic. It's a live album. He's doing like mostly Beatles tunes. It was one from the 90s or something, or it's based on his a live performance from the 90s or something, and yeah, most of them are like sort of Beatles songs, but a couple of them are some of his solo songs. Like you've got a couple of solo songs, like I think My Brave Face is a solo song from Paul McCartney, and you've got Coming Up, which is a solo song from Paul McCartney. But then the rest of them are like different versions of Beatles songs, like Can't Buy Me Love, Eleanor Rigby, Gotta Get You Into My Life, Birthday, and yeah, there are also We Got Married, which I think is a Paul McCartney solo song, and also All My Trials. I haven't heard those songs as much, those ones. I think I've heard My Brave Face. I haven't listened to every single Paul McCartney solo album, but I from what I've heard of all of his solo albums, I really like his solo stuff. Probably my favourite out of all the Beatles solo stuff. Also really like some of George Harrison and John Lennon stuff as well, a little bit. I'm not as big on John Lennon, George Harrison, and Ringo Starr, like, usually. I'm a really massive fan of Paul McCartney's. I guess some of John Lennon's stuff I really like Imagine. And I still love lots of John Lennon and stuff. I'm just not as big on it as I am with Paul McCartney and that, because Paul McCartney's solo stuff is far above any of the other solo Beatles stuff for me. But nothing compares to the Beatles days. Nothing does. Right, so next I'm going to go on to two albums that my grandparents got me for my birthday that happened earlier this year. Not going to disclose when that was. They got me the 50th anniversary that came out a few years ago of Beatles Abbey Road. It's the version that's got like the 2 CD anniversary edition. It's got like all the original Beatles Abbey Road, both sides, but it's got them on one singular CD, and then it's got some of the outtakes and studio demos and all that and stuff like that on the second disc. So I'm going to show you some of the like gatefolds and whatever it's called. This is what the disc looks like for disc 1. I don't know if you can see it because the lighting in my bedroom isn't necessarily the greatest, but you kind of have to part with that for now. And then this is what disc 2 looks like. I think this is like the Abbey Road Sessions kind of thing. So this is like a load of studio demos and like outtakes and all that from the Abbey Road Sessions and all that. Like all alternative takes and all that. And then this is what the kind of gate, is it called a gatefold or whatever? This little bit here. This is cool. It's got the Apple Records logo. I think this is an alternative version of the Abbey Road cover. Like one of the alternative photos that they were taking. Oh, I will do an in-depth look at this. So basically in here you've got like some of the like backstories of some of the songs and some of the lyrics and all that in this little book here that comes with it. I will have to do an in-depth review. I know it's a bit outdated now to do a 50th anniversary, and I know it probably won't get a lot of reviews because I wasn't like really deeply into collecting CDs and all that back when Abbey Road 50th anniversary came about. I think I did like CDs and that. I wasn't against them, but yeah. And I did own CDs, but the other one I got from my birthday, well, it was within the last year anyway, birthday. Basically I got from my grandparents again is Queen's Greatest Hits. Basically the first Greatest Hits album. So basically it has all their stuff up to the early 80s. So like their second Greatest Hits included like the mid to late 80s and all that. And then the Greatest Hits number 3 included like some of the stuff like they've released after Freddie Mercury died, like some of the stuff like that they did with like Adam Lambert and stuff, guys like that, and Paul Rodgers and some of the other guys who basically have like replaced Freddie Mercury or whatever, like because of his death and all that. Like people who have like done it alternative versions and of songs and all that. This is the album. Show you what it looks like inside briefly. For this one, it's just a simple greatest hits compilation. I won't probably be doing an in-depth review of this because I can pretty much show you everything here. Some of my favourite songs on here, like Bohemian Rhapsody, we got You're My Best Friend, we got Killer Queen. Yeah, I absolutely love this album. Most of that stuff on there is some of my favourite tunes of all time. Man, great. So now I'm getting on to the CDs I bought yesterday, or not yesterday, yesterday as of filming this. So I'm filming this on the 11th of August, I think. As of yesterday, I went up to Bristol and I got a couple records and, no, not records, CDs and that. And all of these are CDs that have been released in the last year, but I haven't actually had the chance, because of a recent pandemic, haven't really had the chance to, like, go to an actual CD shop, and I really don't like, personally, buying CDs online. It doesn't feel the same, you know. I mean, I might do that sometimes if it's, like, a CD I really want, and, like, it's not available in, like, the HMV store or anything. I might go online to find it, but, yeah. So, this one's a compilation CD, Back the Way We Came, from Noel Gallagher. It's, Volume 1. It's all of his, like, basically some of his greatest hits and some other tunes that he was choosing that he thought were really worth putting on a compilation album from 2011 to 2021, basically. And yeah, because that's the first 10 years of Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds, and it's mainly disc 1 and 2, but then you've got a bonus disc after that. So disc 1 includes like some of the earlier stuff, and also a recent tune he released as a single earlier this year for that was sort of inspired by some of his earlier sound, like from the first 2 Noel Gallagher records. His first 2 albums was the self-titled, and he also did Chasing Yesterday, which kind of have like very sort of similar sounds to it. And then he also made a single called We're On Our Way Now, which is a single which he released that kind of is sort of in that sort of style of Chasing Yesterday and his self-titled. It wouldn't be out of place if it was put into them albums, basically. So that's why he probably put that on disc 1 as opposed to disc 2, because disc 2 is all like his later stuff, if you know what I mean. Like Holy Mountain, like some of his later stuff is a bit more like not experimental, but it's like not really one specific style, because he had like, it didn't really have a formula as such, but it was more like he kind of, his first 2 albums kind of wouldn't be out of place if any of the songs were put on each album and were blended into a playlist and all that. And still, his later stuff wouldn't be out of place with that. It's just that it's a different style, because later stuff like his third album, Who Built the Moon, kind of feels a bit more like he's going a bit more towards like an experimental sort of some more psychedelic direction. Not to say he didn't do that on his first 2 albums, it's just it was a bit more overblown psychedelic kind of vibe. And then on his like EPs he released after that, he basically went full 80s dance kind of vibe. He did occasionally do a bit more like rock kind of style, but it was a bit more like, he didn't really stick to like specific sounds, if you know what I mean. Like most of the songs were quite different in styles to each other, and were very much like, most Oasis fans wouldn't really like his later stuff that he did from like Who Built the Moon onwards. There are a couple of tunes on Who Built the Moon that wouldn't sound out of place with like putting into an Oasis album if they were slightly altered, or like sung by Liam Gallagher or something. They might have worked on an Oasis album, but none of really his stuff from his recent EPs, or like his more recent EPs from like 2018, 2019, I think, maybe 2020. Yeah, some of those EPs I don't think, like, they're more dance oriented and like more 80s inspired, so I don't think they would personally work with an Oasis vibe, but I could be wrong. Then you've also got the bonus disc as well, which is like instrumentals and like remixes and alternative versions. And yeah, I will go into probably a more detailed review of this, and I might even rank some of the songs on here. Let me know if you want to see a ranking of any songs from any of these albums, or you want to see more stuff about any of these artists that are featured here. Right, coming up next is Mccartney 3 Imagined. This one was released like a few weeks ago now, this point. It might be getting to the point where I'm a bit late to doing the 3 Imagined stuff and that, but yeah, because it was released on Spotify months ago, like back in April, I think, and I've listened to it. I haven't actually listened to the Idris Elba remix of Long Tail Winterbird yet, which is, I think it is only exclusive to the CD version, I think, and the vinyl versions, like the physical copies. But on the Spotify, the rest of the songs are on there. Actually, I think he might have actually, like, that song might have been released as a single on Spotify, not like part of the albums. But there's like an alternative picture that wasn't the never before seen picture, I think, that wasn't on his other McCartney McCartney 3 album. Yeah, I've got the original McCartney 3 there, and I really like it, but I don't know which versions I like. I might actually make an alternate McCartney 3 ultimate playlist. I might do a video on my McCartney 3 ultimate playlist video soon of like the best songs from each album and make an ultimate McCartney 3. I might actually do that in a nearby video. Leave a comment down below if you want to see that. I'm probably going to do that anyway, but it'd be nice to know if you guys want to see that. Some of the artists on here, this is basically just alternative versions of like McCartney 3 songs by either featuring other artists or like done remix of it or covers or whatever. So then there's Find My Way featuring Beck, which is like, Find My Way is kind of like a remix he did, and he might have recorded a few extra vocal lines and that there, and added his own parts and that. And then there's Kiss on Venus, which is, basically a cover of that, and it's by Dominic Fike, who's like a recent artist who kind of I like. He's done a few songs that have got in the charts that I'm not hugely, massively fan of. Don't hate them, but yeah. But then he's done a few extra like songs that I actually like. He's kind of indie sort of rock with a bit of a modern pop hip hop twist to it, you know, kind of vibe. And he's done a cover of Kiss on Venus, but he did add his own lyrics and that and his own section to it. And your instrumental, it feels like a completely different song, but it still feels like the same song, but with a completely different vibe. You can tell it's the same song. It's got a lot of lyrical and a lot of like similar chords and that, and like, but the arrangement's quite different, and like then he does go on to add his own verse and lyrics and slightly alter the arrangement here and there. Then you've got like Pretty Boys by Krung Bin remix or something. I have never heard of that artist before I listened to this album. I heard of Beck and Dominic Fike before this album. And then you got Women and Wives St. Vincent remix. Personally never heard St. Vincent's music outside of this song. I actually wasn't a fan of Women and Wives from the original album. It was alright tune. Like, it wasn't a minor song, like a skippable song. It was more of an equal sign, so like, I wouldn't avoid it kind of thing. But this version is so much better than the original. St. Vincent version, Women and Wives, is the ultimate version. That's better than the original. I never heard St. Vincent's music before. I've heard of them, because I think they might have been in like some Spotify playlist or like an indie playlist or something, I don't know. Kind of have a sort of an indie electronic vibe to them, I guess. You could call it modern indie electronic sort of vibe. It gives it a little bit of an indie electronic twist. Yeah, and then you've got Deep Down Blood Orange remix, which isn't as good as the original, but still great version of the great version still, no, nonetheless. It's a really good version. Then you've got Seize the Day Phoebe Bridgers remix, which I'm actually debating if the original is better than this or not. I'm having a hard time working out which version is better, because Phoebe Bridgers absolutely kills this. They feel like two completely different vibes, so it's hard to really judge, because you can tell they're supposed to be the same song, but then they've got a completely different vibe. She's done a completely different take. It feels like another vibe, you know. It's a great version that Phoebe Bridgers does on here. Personally, I've not heard a whole ton of Phoebe Bridgers stuff, but it seems like kind of like a more indie sort of acoustic version of Billie Eilish. If you were to blend Billie Eilish with a bit more of acoustic indie vibe, but like a slightly better, then you would wind up with Phoebe Bridgers. And I actually do like some of Phoebe Bridgers' music I've heard. It seems pretty good music actually. And especially this song. Yeah. And then you've got Slide In EOB remix, which I think was produced by Paul Epworth. He worked with Ed O'Brien, who's the guy who goes by the name EOB, and Ed O'Brien was the guitarist of Radiohead, and he basically remixed it, made it a bit faster, and he also added his own guitars into it and stuff, and messed around basically with Paul Epworth in the studio, and was kind of messing around with some versions of that song and that. I think it's a pretty neat version, honestly, Slide In. Doesn't add a whole lot to the original, I will say, so I might prefer the original, but they are very, very close though, I will say. Long-Tailed Winter Bird by Damon Albarn remix, are sick. Feels like a Gorillaz vibe. Doesn't feel like his solo stuff. You'd expect it to sound more like his solo stuff, or like his Blur stuff. But like, personally I think it's more Gorillaz vibe, which is pretty rare for just a Damon Albarn solo thing. Like, if he's going under the name Damon Albarn, you'd expect it to sound like Damon, like his music that he does when he goes under the name Damon Albarn. But when he does his like Gorillaz stuff, you wouldn't normally expect his solo Damon Albarn stuff to sound like that. Because his solo Damon Albarn stuff is kind of like in between Gorillaz and Blur, kind of. But it's not really similar to either, really. But this song is very much like, basically, if the Gorillaz were to do their sort of own experimental version of like Long-Tailed Winter Bird, then you would probably wind up with something similar to the Damon Albarn remix of Long-Tailed Winter Bird. Then you got Lavatory Mill, Josh Homme version. I don't think Josh Homme, or however you pronounce it, actually like changed the original that much. He just does his own version because it's very similar to the original. Again, sort of similar to how Sliding is similar to the original. Then you've got When Winter Comes by Anderson .Paak remix. Love and some of Anderson .Paak's music. He's a good drummer. Nice, like, sort of soul vibe, I guess you could say, R&B sort of flavour. Nice vibe. I like that song. Then you got Deep Deep Feeling, which I'm not a fan of that. It does sample some of the less good songs, in my opinion, of some of the, like, Paul McCartney's previous McCartney albums. It samples some of them songs in there as well. I'm not a fan of that, to be honest. And Idris Elba remix of Long-Tailed Winter Bird. Haven't heard that yet. I'm really excited to listen to it as an actual album. I just burned it on my computer earlier, rather, and I'm excited to listen to that, honestly. Sorry that was a bit long, but yeah. Right, coming up next is Liam Gallagher's As You Were. Out of all the CDs I bought the other day at HMV, this is the oldest one. Liam Gallagher's As You Were. Great album, great album. Love this album. This is probably, I don't know if this one, I feel like the songs that I really love from this album are better than most of the songs from As You Were, but I think, from Why Me Why Not, but Why Me Why Not I think is a better album overall, some stronger album overall, but As You Were is a great album still. You got songs like Wall of Glass, absolutely love that tune. You got Bold, absolutely love that tune as well. Greedy Soul, great tune. Bold actually is a very, very John Lennon inspired tune. I absolutely love that tune. Wall of Glass is just a classic swagger Liam Gallagher. Oh, that is the ultimate Liam Gallagher song. If not, it's either that or Wonderwall. It's either that, maybe Wonderwall, maybe Supersonic. If you think of the ultimate swagger Liam Gallagher song, you'd probably, for me, the three songs go Wall of Glass, Supersonic, and Wonderwall. I also like Eyeball Tickler, which is a very underrated Oasis tune. It was a B-side to Lila, I think. Was it Pawns of Being? One of their songs from Don't Believe the Truth. Yeah, you've also got For What It's Worth and Paper Crown, which are very not John Lennon inspired again. Also got, yeah, I love some of these tunes. You've got Chinatown, which is very underrated in my opinion. Chinatown's a great tune. I think it's underrated, I don't know. I don't know actually how rated it is. Yeah, I love all these tunes. Then you've got Inside, you've also... Yeah, this one was just a regular CD again, just like the one. So it's got nothing special inside, just like what you'd expect, just kind of like the CD. And it's got a little bit of info here, like just a normal booklet and that. Nothing too crazy. So next we come on to something that was released last Friday, as of recording this. I'm probably going to release this video in the next few days. But yeah, then you've got George Harrison's All Things Must Pass. Which is a sick album. Yeah, and you've got the 50th anniversary, but this is the 2 CDs, because I wasn't sure how much I was actually going to listen to the alternative takes. I would like to have that, but with my money and everything, I thought like I wanted all these albums. I might, in the future, if it's still on sale somewhere, I might, depends, get the version with like the alternative takes and all that on there as well. I mean, there are a couple of like ones, but this is just like a 2 CD version. We've got like alternative versions, but this isn't like all the outtakes and demos as such. This is more like fully fleshed out versions more of the songs and that. And Yeah, I love this. I love the original of this album. I might even get the original of this album, because I don't know. I feel like I might get the original of this album as well, because this is actually one of the George Harrison albums I can actually strongly get behind. Haven't heard a ton of George Harrison, but absolutely love this album. No, either way, great album. It says the drums and percussion, Alan White, freaking Oasis. You kidding me, bruv? Wait, so is there like alternative like recordings? Wait, no, is that the same Alan White that did Oasis? Oh, I'm doing a whole video on 50th anniversary. This warrants a whole video. This warrants a whole freaking video, man. I'm gonna do my research, because I thought this was just taking old versions and did like more remastered and updated remasters, and like taking older versions, like older takes, but then polishing them up to fit on the album as opposed to just being just the takes. Like, I didn't realise they were like actually gonna get contemporary or more recent musicians to like do their like sort of take on it, like a little bit like in the background, like add some extra drums or something, and like replace some of the drum tracks. I could be wrong on that, but the thing with Alan White did shock me a little bit. Maybe there's a different Alan White who was like a contemporary of George Harrison and like performed with him or whatever, but as far as I'm aware, I'm pretty sure there wasn't, but I don't know. I'll do my research and do a full video on that. I might do my research and full video for the next album as well. I might do a full video on Give Me Some Truth, John Lennon. Give Me Some Truth is a great album. Yeah, this has got some of the best of John Lennon. Some of the best of John Lennon, in my opinion. Haven't heard every single John Lennon album properly, but Give Me Some Truth, great album. It's got some live versions, and these aren't just straight up versions from the other albums. Some of these are completely new versions, and also some of them they've merged two separate versions of the album, of the song, into one new version of the song. I think on one of them, I think it might have been #9Dream or Number 9 Dream or whatever. I think it might have, I could be wrong. Was it Mind Games or something like that? I don't know what song. It might have been one of the songs anyway. They've sort of merged two versions. Like one of it's a live version, then one of it's like the single version, but they also then merged it with like, so I don't know. They've done some like merging of some of these songs, like different versions, and mixed them into one new version, which is cool. And they've also updated the mixes and made the mixes of these songs. Imagine on here sounds phenomenal. I thought the original of Imagine had actually kind of a right mix for the time. Wasn't the greatest mix. The song was amazing though. The songwriting and the production was alright, but yeah, the songwriting was amazing. But on this version, the production is phenomenal on Imagine. Yeah, it still has like 70s recording in that, but with great contemporary modern remaster and stereo mixing and all that. Great stuff. Would recommend some. Anyway, so yeah, that's all recent albums I've got for now. So thank you guys for watching this video, and I will maybe do in-depth video stuff with that videos, and I might do also another video on some of my other CD collection, and also I might do some other videos on some other CDs I own and that. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Goodbye.